Alright, the router preferences are set and the duct systems have been created, so now we are ready to add some ductwork using the auto-generate feature in Revit. Start by selecting the terminal box, and this launches the active ribbon Modify Mechanical Equipment. For Revit to generate some layout options, select the Generate Layout button on the Layout panel on the active ribbon, and this will launch you into the Generate Layout command. Now while in this command, you have an active ribbon named Generate Layout and an active toolbar. On the active toolbar, you have the solutions types. Now there's 3 solution types: network, perimeter, and intersections. And each of these solution types have a variety of layout options. Depending upon the complexity of your duct systems, Revit can generate many options. Next to the solution types drop-down box, there are arrows that allow you to toggle through the layout options Revit has created. And as you toggle through these options, you can determine which solution is best for your system. Something to note, many of the options are similar or the same. This is a common occurrence. Once you find the layout that suits your need, select the Finish Layout button on the active ribbon. For this layout, let's select Solution Type Intersections 1 of 5. Once you select the Finish Layout button, Revit leaves the command and places Size Ductwork in place of the layout. Revit wasn't quite perfect placing all the transitions and takeoffs for that run. That's okay. We'll come back to this duct layout in a minute. Now moving over to the next terminal box, select this terminal box and select the Generate Layout button on the active ribbon as before to launch the Generate Layout command. And just like before, start toggling through the layout options Revit has generated for you. Since this layout is simpler than the previous layout, Revit did not generate as many options to choose from. So once you've toggled through all the options Revit generated, and none of these options seem to fit what we're looking for, we have the ability to edit a layout. You do this by setting your solution type and option to a layout that is close to what you want, and then select the Edit Layout button on the active ribbon. After examining this layout under the Edit Solution command, what we want to change cannot be done within this command. So to exit the Edit Solution command, select the Solutions button on the active ribbon. A change to note on the active toolbar. Because you use the Edit Solution option, Revit has added Custom to the drop-down next to the solution type. Since the edit solution was not the answer, change your solution type from Custom to Intersections 2 of 2, and this time select the Settings button on the active toolbar. And this will launch the Duct Conversion Settings dialog box. Within this dialog box, you have the ability to change the duct type values for your main and branch duct work while in the Generate Layout command. For this layout, change the main duct type value to round duct type connections and leave the branch settings as they were. What this change will do is have Revit size the main and branch ductwork in the layout options as round ductwork. Now while in the Generate Layout command, Revit designates branch ductwork as blue lines and main ductwork as green lines. Select the Finish Layout button so Revit can generate your duct layout. Now that we've added your initial duct layouts, let's start manually adjusting your layouts to polish them up some. Using the grips on the ductwork, move the rigid branch ductwork back and reconnect the flex ductwork. And we changed the 12-inch diameter round duct to the 8-inch diameter round duct to match the rest of the duct run. Moving back to the first duct layout we created, let's polish this layout the same way. Using the grips, move the main transition down past the takeoffs, then drag the branch duct out of the main duct and then reconnect the ductwork into the main using the grips on the ductwork. Revit will connect the ductwork using the appropriate fitting. Now there are times in complex duct layouts when Revit will place a section of duct as a main instead of a branch duct. In cases like the one shown, select the duct and change the duct type to the correct duct type and then connect it to the main using the grips the same as before. Pull the same ductwork back from the air terminal and reconnect the flex ductwork using the grips on the ductwork. And now your duct layouts are the way you want them. Moving to the inlet side of the terminal boxes, let's create a duct system for the inlet of the terminal boxes so we can generate some duct layouts there. Select the terminal boxes and select the duct button on the active ribbon. Rename the system name to AHU-100 and select the Edit System button and then add the other terminal box to the system. And make sure to select the correct connection in the connection dialog box, otherwise you'll break your previous duct system. And finish editing the system. To generate the next duct layout, select the terminal box again and select the Generate Layout button on the active ribbon. And just like before, you have the same 3 solution types on the active toolbar, and the same options on the active ribbon. See, Revit does not care what part of the duct system you're in. The program will let you interact with each duct layout the same way. After toggling through all your options, none are exactly what you want, so set the solution type to Network 2 of 3 because this is the closest we want, and then select the Edit Layout button on the active ribbon. Now while in the Edit Layout command, we'll select the green line in the duct layout and drag it out using the grip in the center of the line. And then select the Solution button on the active ribbon to go back to the Generate Layout command. And since there's no further edits needed to the layout, select the Finish Layout button. A final adjustment to this layout, select the larger toolbox and move it to the right so there's some straight duct on the inlet. On larger projects, it can be pretty easy to lose track of your systems inside your model. So Revit has a tool called the System Browser palette to help you with this. To open the System Browser palette, go to the View tab on the ribbon and select the drop-down arrow next to the User Interface button and check the box next to the System Browser on the list. And this will open the System Browser palette. This palette tracks all the duct systems that have been created in your model. Within the palette, you can expand the directory tree to determine what is connected to each other. And at the top of the directory tree, the System Browser palette still has all the air terminals and mechanical equipment that still needs to be assigned to a duct system. The System Browser palette works like any other palette in Revit. You can stretch it or dock it, and to close the palette, just select the X in the upper right-hand corner of the palette. And the System Browser palette also serves as a good check and balance on a project to make sure all your air terminals and mechanical equipment have been connected to a duct system.